Intro. Hey moviegoers, and welcome to Moviegoer. I'm Max Forrest.
I'm Paul Ilby.
And today we'll be reviewing Captain America Brave New World. I'll start us off. So, Captain America Brave New World. Let's read the internet synopsis. Anthony Mackie returns as the high-flying hero Sam Wilson, who's officially taken up the mantle of Captain America. After meeting with the newly elected U.S. President Thaddeus Ross, Sam finds himself in the middle of an international incident. He must discover the reason behind a nefarious global plot before the true mastermind has the entire world seeing red. Let's roll the trailer.
You know I've been no fan of heroes, but even I can't deny the good that you've done.
You want me? Come and get me!
So without further ado, my loves, likes, and dislikes of Captain America Brave New World. No loves on my end, but I do have likes. Let's just get the dislikes out of the way. The President turning into the Red Hulk should have been a surprise, not something that was in the trailer. It would have been such a badass surprise for the climax of the film if we had no idea it was coming. Another dislike. In order to understand a lot of this film, you'd have to be familiar with the Hulk movie from 2008. I don't think anybody remembers that one. Anyway, my likes. As of right now, this movie has a 49% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's ridiculous. This belongs a fresh review.
Work with me, Sam. The country needs Captain America.
The movie is a lean hour and 58 minutes, doesn't overstay its welcome. Well done. In the beginning of the film, Captain America saves a bunch of hostages. His fight with the henchmen is totally badass, and right off the bat, at the start of the movie, we're seeing Cap being a hero. Good move on the screenwriter's part. Usually, during big Marvel movie action sequences, especially when they're aerial, I zone out. But during this big aerial action sequence in A Brave New World, I was actually completely invested. I like the new Falcon. He was an entertaining sidekick to Cap, and Anthony Mackie gives a great performance. He brings a lot of heart to the film, a performance filled with such integrity. As Gary Oldman said in an interview, you can't fake integrity in a performance. And that's it.
Watch yourself. You're not Steve Rogers. You're right. I'm not.
That's all I liked. That's all I could really remember, because this movie, I believe, was just a passable movie, and it went in one ear and out the other. I'm sure Paul has more in-depth analysis, but I could hardly remember it once it was done, so I did my absolute best. Let's take it to Paul.
Well, I didn't want to do this one after the travesty of Deadpool and Wolverine. I have no hope for Marvel. So I went into this with very low expectations. And it was a little better than expected, but that's not saying much. So, this is a direct sequel to 2008's Incredible Hulk, and also a direct sequel to 2021's Falcon and Winter Soldier, and The Eternals, and Civil War, and of course they mention Infinity War and Endgame. Well, thankfully, you don't have to do your homework, because almost every piece of dialogue is cheap exposition. Literally, I'm not joking, there's a line Thunderbolt Ross says, "Have you heard from Betty, my daughter? She never forgave me for hunting down her boyfriend, Bruce Banner." Or someone else will be like, "Thunderbolt Ross as our president? He used to be called the Hulk Hunter, you know." Or, "Ross, you approved the Sokovia Accords, which broke up the Avengers." Like, alright, yeah, great, I get it, thanks, we get it. There's also multiple meta jokes about Ross looking different, like, "Yeah, thanks for telling me something I couldn't see with my own eyes." And Harrison Ford does the best he could with the bland script. It's really sad because William Hurt was perfect for the role. He had such a strong presence and a commanding voice. It's sad he died. Now, we all love Harrison Ford, and I'm not sure if this was the right call. He doesn't quite have that physical stature William Hurt brought to the role. But I still prefer a recasting over just letting the character die off. And this brings up a whole side rant, not about this film, but Marvel in general. They have no problem recasting Thunderbolt Ross, or Rhodey, or Bruce Banner, or Howard Stark, and many others. But they won't recast T'Challa or Wolverine? But then they'll also recycle actors, like Robert Downey Jr. basically defined Tony Stark for an entire generation, but then cast him as Doctor Doom? Like, they tie the actors to the roles so tightly, but also swap out other actors. I'm not complaining about recasting. It happens. These are movies. It's fantasy. Also, does anyone remember when Marvel would cast no-names or washed-up actors and give them a career? Now they hire the biggest names, their own biggest names, but why not give someone else a chance? Anyway, to tie this back into Brave New World, there's this trope in Marvel films that I absolutely despise, completely killing serious or tender moments with a horrendous, horribly timed joke. There's a moment in the second act where the new Kid Falcon gets injured in battle and Sam is feeling sorry for himself. He has a conversation with Bucky and he basically goes, "Steve chose wrong, I'm not fit to be Captain America." And Bucky gives a really touching response. He reminds him of why Steve chose him. You don't need the super soldier serum, it's about what's inside. And it's completely destroyed by Sam saying, "Oh, you got your speechwriters to do that for you." And Bucky's like, "Yeah, it's good, right?" It ruins this heavy moment. It shows Bucky isn't a good friend because he relies on speechwriters to talk to his friend instead of saying something genuine from the heart. And it messes with Sam because he's cracking jokes after his Falcon friend is nearly killed. It undercuts what could have been a great character development moment. I can't stand it. Now, for a small positive. The cinematography wasn't completely boring. There's some great looking moments where Samuel Stearns, aka the leader, played by Tim Blake Nelson, yeah, you remember him? Oh, don't worry, like I said, the dialogue makes it blatantly clear what happened to him. Anyway, there's some really cool moments where he's shrouded in shadow and you only see the glow of his eyes. Like, really cool stuff. There was this really nice, film grain texture for some scenes that gave it some real character. Some interesting directional lighting. But then it'll transition to a scene so painfully obvious it was a reshoot, like amateur green screen, like really rough. And it was reported that there were 2 rounds of reshoots, and it shows. Apparently, most scenes with Giancarlo Esposito, yes, Esposito, there's video evidence of him pronouncing his own name,
Giancarlo Esposito,
were reshoots. Overall, the end product is hobbled together. Great moments with the leader manipulating Ross and building tension towards his transformation into the Red Hulk. Carl Lumbly as Isaiah Bradley, the original forgotten Captain America, was a standout. There was potential for this to be up there with Winter Soldier, a political espionage thriller. We even got a discount Black Widow. But it falls flat with conflicting tones and over-explaining things. This is the 35th movie in the series. I guess they wanted to play it safe. But this is the problem with having an interconnected franchise that's this long. If you don't explain, the audience has to do homework. If you over-explain, it wastes screen time. I don't know. Another microwavable movie, 3 out of 5.
Okay, so you had a much more in-depth analysis of this movie than I did.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of left it all on the floor, so I don't know how much is there, how much left is there.
You know, I agreed with your point about leaving Red Hulk as a surprise.
Yeah.
Because that whole middle scene when they're fighting over the water and they're trying to stop that war between Japan and America.
That's why I was invested.
Yeah.
Actually, when I was writing the review, I wasn't sure whether or not it was a war could have started between America and Japan.
They talk about us.
The country is on the brink of war.
So all I said was, I was compelled by that aerial action.
Yeah.
But it's good to hear that. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. No, that scene was really, really cool.
Those were the stakes.
Yeah. And while the Kid Falcon and Cap are flying around trying to stop these missiles, at the same time the leader is on the phone with Ross, and he's getting him all worked up, and he's starting to turn into the Red Hulk, on the boat, and I was like, man, that's really tense. Imagine if we didn't know that Red Hulk was going to be in this. That scene would be crazy.
I praise Anthony Mackie.
Yeah, he was great. He was good. That's the thing that I'm talking about, where things were disjointed in this one. It's you get really tense scenes in that second act, and then you get really great character moments. and then you get it like immediately killed with a stupid joke or
It's just ramming a joke.
yeah, I don't get this like this trend of like you can't have anything be serious or heavy or
Yeah.
you know. Also too, it's like the green screen stuff in this one was rough. You don't have to know like, you know, the science of how a camera works or how lenses work. You can just tell when something is off, you know?
Oh, that guy, the villain in this movie,
Yeah.
the green eyes, and he was in the original Hulk.
Yeah.
He gets screwed over in some way.
Yeah, he in the it's been a long time since I've seen that movie,
Yeah.
but he's trying to I forgot what it was, trying to get blood out of Bruce Banner or something, and he starts turning into the Hulk and he knocks over a bunch of stuff. And Samuel Stearns gets like a cut on his head, and when he falls down, some of like the blood that goes in the cut, and then he starts turning into the leader.
His name's the Leader
Yeah, that's like the character's name is the leader.
in the comics.
Yeah, I don't know if they called him the leader in the movie. I don't remember if they ever mentioned him by like his comic book name, but that's what he's called. But yeah, man, I mean,
It's superhero fatigue, bro.
it's just bad movie fatigue, you know?
Yeah. I'd say it's more superhero fatigue. I'll tell you a movie I walked out of, Captain Marvel.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
The first one?
The first one.
Or whatever, that was a few years.
People really don't like Brie Larson.
Yeah, I don't really have an
I don't have
opinion
any
on her.
gripes.
I don't, you know. I thought she was great in Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Love Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
But yeah, I know she was fun in Kong Skull Island too. I thought she was fun in that one.
She was fine in that one.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know what people's problem is with her.
I don't know. She made some comment about men, and then all these like idiots came after her.
Oh, whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah, who cares? No. Cap 4.
Cap 4.
It's fine. I'll probably never watch it again.
Oh, yeah. That's I think a good way to end it is to say that I won't watch this again.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Outro. Thanks for watching, everybody. And please subscribe, like, comment, and share. Also, support us on Patreon.
Thanks.
Thanks for watching.